Hello everyone, welcome back to the King YouTube channel. In this video, we're going to give you some news about the royal couple according to a royal expert. If Harry shovels steaming manure onto the royal family fruit patch, he should expect a rich crop of raspberries in return. And another thing shows that Meghan really exposed a dirty past. She proved to be a stroke of bad luck that the royal family had to handle, which sadly, after a tragic chapter of royal history with Meghan, never ended as well as it did before. Once again, thank you so much for choosing Kate Middleton and the Queen channel as a place to relieve your soul and relax with info about the royal family. Now let's start. Early today, the royal commentator Jan Moyer said that it still seems weird and somehow wrong that news about the British royal family is discussed first on US outlets such as talk show host Kelly Ripa's podcast and on the pages and website of People magazine, next to stories about the Kardashians and actor Will Smith denying he slept with a man. But this is the world Meghan and Harry, the Duchess and Duke of hypocrisy, chose to live in. This is the prism through which they are now viewed. This is where the bizarre vanilla nonsense of their softest scoop ice cream is peddled in the hopes that everybody's going to swallow it whole. Reactions may vary as well as recollections. Some people might even choke a little bit on that first scoop. ScoobyDoo's new book Endgame is out at the end of the month, and an excerpt has appeared in People magazine. American readers could easily be shocked to learn that according to this very biased account, the death of Queen Elizabeth II wasn't about the passing of a much-loved monarch, and it wasn't a sad event for British people in the shared history. It was all about Prince Harry. Meghan and Harry are claiming they didn't have anything to do with the book, but we don't believe it. There are way too many details about the Queen's passing. There's no way ScoobyDoo would have had that information if Harry and Meghan had not talked to him themselves. And what about Harry's travel arrangements to Balmoral, his disappointed feelings about this, that, and the other, and his surprise that not only was his welcome home very far from warm, but that Meghan's presence at the late Queen's deathbed was not going to be necessary? One thing is clear, there was a lot of tension in the family at that moment. According to what Scabies wrote in Endgame, Harry was especially upset because William refused to respond to his text messages when he was trying to hitch a lift to Scotland on the RAF jet that flew Prince William, Prince Andrew, and the Wessexes. But my only response to this is laughter. I mean, seriously, what did he expect? If you shovel all this steaming manure onto the family fruit patch, then you gotta expect a rich crop of raspberries in return. Every action has a reaction, and every treacherous act is another brick in the royal ramparts. At this point, the wall between the brothers is so high that apparently William refuses to even talk with Harry. Harry still moping around, as always, looking for an apology or accountability, as he calls it. From William to him instead of the other way around, which makes no sense whatsoever. I'm sure more Endgame excerpts and leaks are going to be coming soon, but honestly, I'm already sick and tired of it. I don't want to see anything more. We're going to hear more stories of Sussex victimhood because, well, that's the only story they have to sell. When are they ever going to wake up and realize why nobody likes them? They're still expecting all of us to feel sorry for them, but why? They claim they've got two gorgeous, healthy kids. They have a McMansion in California. They've got a chicken coop. They got free tickets to Beyonce concert, Katy Perry concert, and they have supposedly millions in the bank. Why do they need our sympathy? They've been putting all these PR puff pieces out recently, making it look like they have wealthy, powerful supporters on their side, like the billionaire TV producer Tyler Perry. It was Perry who arranged their initial entry into America. He gave them his lavish California home as a sanctuary to live in for a little while. I don't think many refugees fleeing from tyranny are offered a mansion to stay in. Tyler Perry went on Kelly Ripa's show this week talking about how Meghan got in touch with him after he sent her a note of support. They hadn't really been friends before, but that didn't stop Tyler Perry from becoming the godfather of Princess Lilibet. Alright, well, Meghan is hardly the first overly ambitious mom who chose a wealthy and well-connected patron to become a godfather to her kids. But what is surprising is how little it really required. Just a couple of phone calls here and there and borrowing his house for a little while. And that was enough for Meghan to essentially pimp out her own kid. But how much more of this BS can the public endure? Harry and Meghan have found their freedom. They made their great escape. Can't they just sit back and enjoy it? Why do they always have to be worrying this royal scab and whining to their mouthpiece ScoobyDoo? And about ScoobyDoo, I mean, it's not like he's actually a legitimate journalist, so he has to stoke the fires of grievance and discontent between Meghan and Harry and the real royals. Otherwise, he doesn't have anything to write in his stupid book, he doesn't have a purpose, and he certainly doesn't have a paycheck. I do wonder how it feels for ScoobyDoo hearing Meghan and Harry deny that they have anything to do with him, claiming that they're not affiliated with him in any way, even though we've been here before. Denials that Team Sussex had helped with his previous book, Finding Freedom, turned out to be a big pile of lies. But whatever, I think we can all agree on one thing. This endless drip of complaints and spite from a hateful prince is the sign of a man who lost his way a long time ago, and probably will never get back on the right track. Alright, in the next part of this video, I want to talk about why so many people accuse Meghan of being phony. Well, for starters, it could be all that troweled on makeup, the clearly fake tan, the fake hair, the Hollywood fake teeth, who knows what else, the fake nose, the cheek implants, really all of it. She is fake from head to toe, but wait a minute, not her toes. I think that part of her body is 100% real because seriously, who would pay to have feet that look like that? Meghan is still trying to look like a young, sexy Hollywood starlet, but she's anything but. She's a bit long in the tooth now. Meghan looks exactly like what she is, a scrubber. When she first appeared with Harry in the UK, the first thought that I had was that Harry had some severe mommy issues, and it looks like that was spot on. And it really explains how it was so easy for Meghan to manipulate Harry. I would almost feel sorry for him if he weren't such a horrible person. I mean, he's a waste of space, the way he trashed his family while his own grandfather lay dying in the hospital. And what about the total disrespect that he showed to his own grandmother, Her Majesty the Queen? Both his grandparents had only ever shown him love, and look at how he repaid that love and generosity. Meghan Markle is also insane. I mean, she lies when the truth would be a lot easier to tell. She had the nerve to say that she had never even heard of Harry. Well, that was immediately debunked when photos of her when she was young in her home and her room were published. Every wall was covered with photos of the royal family. And let's remember, Harry, after they had first gotten together, claimed that she didn't have any family, that she had never gotten to experience a real Christmas, and so he was looking forward to treating her to her very first proper family Christmas. He asked his grandmother to make an exception to the long-standing policy of no girlfriends. Now, Her late Majesty the Queen and the royal family welcomed Meghan. They were so kind to her, they welcomed her with open arms. Like always, the truth eventually came out, and we found out that Meghan did have a family. She had a big family. And of course, she had enjoyed a whole lifetime of Christmases with her half-siblings, her cousins, her aunties, uncles, and a very generous father who probably spoiled his little princess a bit too much. Some people actually felt sorry for Meghan because we were convinced that she didn't have any family, that she had been deprived, and then we began to perceive that all was not as it seemed with Meghan Markle. For most of us, the first exposure to Meghan was that televised interview in the UK upon the official announcement that they were engaged. Looking back, though, she was a nutcase even then. I mean, I think she was manic during that interview. Wildly gesticulating behavior that should have offered us some clues as to her mental state. But still, everybody just wanted Harry to be happy. We were wishing him well. We never could have predicted this outcome. I mean, you couldn't make this stuff up. Essentially, everybody in the UK is in shock that anyone could so easily ingratiate themselves into the royal family. It's kind of scary. For many people, the harsh realities of this deception perpetuated on what people have always assumed to be the very protected royal family has resulted in significant concern for their safety. It is disturbing that the obviously devious actions by somebody displaying such severe mental health problems could so effortlessly penetrate the hallowed royal proximity, and the rest is just going to end up being a sad chapter in the nation's history. When first Prince Philip passed away, and then not too long after that the late Queen passed away, I think everybody realized that that chapter was coming to a close. and most likely nothing was ever going to be as good or the same ever again. And you, what do you think about this issue? Please tell me your opinion below in the comments. If you think my video is useful, don't be afraid to like and share it with anybody else who would love it anytime you want. And don't be afraid to click the subscribe button to get more updates in the future. Thank you so much for tuning in, have a lovely weekend, and we'll be back to see you all tomorrow.